welcome to another installment of Moon Magic. I am Tracy Hawkner with Eye of Horus, and with me,
Heather Rowan Robbins, astrologer for Eye of Horus, astrologer here in the Twin Cities, and author of Star Codes, and astrologer for We Moon Calendar.
And today we are going to discuss the new moon in April.
Mm-hmm. And what a new moon it is. I mean, the new moon in April is always the sun and moon in Aries, and the sun and the moon come conjunct in the same place. And this new moon, it's really rocking, and it's the second to the last degree of Aries. So the moon goes into Taurus only a few hours later, and 2 days later the sun goes into Taurus. The sun and moon have been changing signs at the very end of each sun sign for a while. They're just beginning to pull a little bit farther apart, but we really feel the change of the signs when the moon is following along with this. So the new moon in Aries is always I am. The gift of Aries is becoming centered in ourselves, not self-centered. A lot of Aries energy, oh, don't be so self-centered. That's the shadow side. That's when you don't see other people's reality. But the gift of it is become centered in yourself. You can't negotiate for a balance between your needs and somebody else's needs until you know what you need first. So this asks you to come back, do that magic, get to know yourself in that powerful, like what makes you come alive way, and then negotiate for your needs to make the world a better place. Find a good balance between those two.
And I think when we get to these later degrees of Aries, it's a more mature version of all that fire. Mm-hmm. So it's more of the comfortable confidence rather than the fiery. Sometimes confidence shifts over into arrogance if we don't do it quite right. Mm-hmm. But I think Leo does that too.
And again with Aries, we can waste our energy in reaction, in rebellion, in won't power versus willpower. Or we can choose not to do that and choose to own our paradigm. Choose not to react against yours, but to choose mine. To say, well, what do I want? Even if that means you have to step away from people for a few minutes and to really hear what you need and then come back. It could be something simple as, where are we going to dinner tonight? Oh, I don't know. Well, let me think. Yeah, I know you want pasta. I'm gluten-free, so let me take a walk outside, come back. No, I really need, let's do Korean and come back and find something that works for both of us. But I need to know what I really need first and not make compromises on that which is really essential to myself. And that sun and moon in Aries brings us back that energy. Venus and Mars are both in Taurus. Venus has gone into Gemini, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Mars in Taurus trining Pluto. There's a lot of determination here. Whatever we want to do, we can make happen. It's really, I think of the Chariot card with this. Once we get that stone chariot moving, it doesn't stop. So we want to make sure it's moving in a good direction. But with this energy, where do you want that combustion engine to go? How can you work with this and come alive and feel vital and present with this aspect? Now we're talking about Venus in Gemini, opposed Saturn. It's a tendency to test relationships with all this independence. Everybody's walking around being independent. Sometimes our relationships get a little frayed and they need a little support. But Venus in Gemini reflects the Lover's card, and you were talking about that.
Right. The Lover's card. If you're at all into the Western mysticism version of Kabbalah, each of the Hebrew letters corresponds with one of the trumps in the tarot, and each one has some very rich symbolism behind it. Zain is the letter that goes with the Lover's card. Its image, its little glyph, is a sword. And folks say, what? A sword for lovers? How does that work? It is through separation and individuation that we can appreciate the union. You cannot have the lovers if you do not have fully formed, independent human beings. And so it's this idea of honoring self, and again, in a comfortable and mature way. Then we can come together and really celebrate the union of the two.
That very issue is being hammered home time after time this spring. that you can create a healthier togetherness when you are healthy in your own soul and in your own community. How do we reach across the gulf as whole, healthy, respectful equals? And that Venus in Gemini, how can you love? It also brings our love to our thoughts and our minds. Maybe a spring when we start writing great diatribes, or writing our the great American novel, or just some really zinging Facebook comments. But we want to talk. We want to put it into words. The Venus-Saturn opposition says, let's do some work with this. Be willing to do relationship skills. And in your independence, in your finding yourselves, what do you need to do to honor the power of your relationships, your friendships, your mentorships, or your loves, so that you can caretake those even as you individuate and really hear yourself?
For those who enjoy working with stones, either zebra jasper, or if you can get one of those lovely Shiva Lingam stones, fantastic. Both of these stones are very good for that kind of yin-yang symbolism and energy.
And even though Aries is in a more mature place here on April 18th in the new moon in Aries, it'll be mid-afternoon at 1:57 p.m. here in St. Paul and Minneapolis. But Aries is only so mature, even at its most mature.
It is the very first sign.
It is the very first sign. And it is, there is a rebellious energy that can be good. We don't want to waste our energy into it. But if there are things that you are seeing in your life that need to be changed, you can rebel by choosing a different paradigm, by choosing life, by choosing hope, by choosing a solution, and use that Aries resistance.
Pour that fire
in a good way.
Good.
Thank you. And we hope you use that combustion in a healthy, beautiful way. And we'll see you next month with Moon Magic.
Thank you. So, beloved fans, thank you for joining us for another episode of Moon Magic. We will be doing this every couple of weeks, and you'll want to keep up. Subscribe to videos. If everything's gone correctly, there should be a clickable link here. Subscribe to the videos. The store itself can be found anytime. eyeofhorus.biz. Don't lose track of us. During the videos, we are constantly yattering about candles and stones and oils. Oh my. Stuff can be had, and we're not afraid of shipping. Feel free to click on products. Gotta have your stuff. Readings. Either myself, Tracy Hawkner, or Heather Roan Robbins, fantastic astrologer. Book a reading, it's fun. And the music you've been listening to, by the way, composed for us by Johnny M. Johnny's music is also available. Important to patronize the arts. Thank you so much. Bye now.